Welcome to the Power of Your Mind podcast. I'm Victoria Gallagher, your host. Have you been attempting to use law of attraction or hypnosis to attract financial abundance, a soulmate, or career success? Would you like to be happy, motivated, and successful? Have better health, enjoy more fulfilling relationships, overcome struggle, and gain mastery over your life? Then join me on this amazing self-help podcast where you'll unleash the power of your mind. I'll be sharing 20 years of wisdom and techniques of hypnotherapy, law of attraction, visualization, meditation, personal growth, positive affirmations, and other effective methods to help you tap into the great power which resides in your mind and become the best version of yourself. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Power of Your Mind podcast. You're listening to episode number 64. I'm Victoria Gallagher, Law of Attraction coach and #1 best-selling author of Practical Law of Attraction, Align Yourself with the Manifesting Conditions and Successfully Attract Your Desires. I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist, founder of hypnotic.com and HypnoCloud apps. So be sure to stop by hypnotic.com and sign up for your free self-hypnosis video training course. And for our listeners who found us through the Power of Your Mind podcast, you can get 35% off your first order of hypnosis downloads when you apply the code podcast to your shopping cart. Also, be sure to download the latest HypnoCloud app in the iTunes store. So I'm so sorry that I was unavailable last week to do the podcast. I was in Las Vegas for our annual Hypno Thoughts convention, and so my schedule got turned upside down just a little bit. And then I kind of came down with a little bit of cold because for those of you who don't know, they allow a lot of smoking in the casinos there, and I was in the Orleans, and while it's wonderful accommodations. It's a little bit of a smoky environment, quite a smoky environment. And somehow or another, I managed to hold out all the way through the conference and all the way to the drive home. But magically, the next day, the next morning, I woke up with a sore throat, and I'm still kind of coming out of that. So if you hear a little nasally, this is not. If this is the very first time you're tuning in to Power of Your Mind podcast, this isn't how I normally sound. I'm not a nasally type of person. So this is just a little bit me getting over a cold. And just today, I had this last minute idea that since I've done my own podcast in the past, my own material and not an interview, and that has actually been some of the highest download days is when I've done my own podcast. And I didn't have anybody on the schedule this week. I decided last minute, just here in the last 10 minutes, that I was going to go ahead and just do my own podcast material. And that's something I'm going to actually start doing a little bit more often, is just starting to weave in maybe once every other week, or maybe I'll add a bonus podcast. But I'm just going to dive in and do my own topics with no guest, and we'll just see how that goes every once in a while. But I'll still interview guests. So if you are somebody who has some great ideas, because I really like to interview people who have great ideas that can stimulate the mind, where we can go through exercises and we can just talk about some techniques and some strategies that people can use to enhance and strengthen the power of their mind, because that's what this is all about, is the power of your mind. So if you are a hypnotist, or if you have some other special skill, maybe you are in meditation, or you do some energy work, or something that can help a person to become more successful, then by all means, send me an email. You can send that to Victoria at victoriamgallagher.com, or you can just go right to my website, victoriamgallagher.com, and you can request to be a guest on my show. Of course, I am always looking for talented guests and guests that can really provide some quality and some high value to our listeners here, because that is what we are known for. Now, for those of you who are tuning in, what I'd really like you to do at the end of this podcast is go ahead and leave a rating and a review for us and let me know how you're enjoying this podcast. It would be great for you also to post this on your social media, share it with your friends. That way we will get the word out about Power of Your Mind podcast. It has been growing, and it's been growing every single month since we've been doing it on a more stable, weekly, consistent basis. So I'm really, really happy about my podcast, and it just tells me that you guys are really enjoying it. But what we could always use is a few more reviews and ratings. That is just how we know that we're doing a good job for you. So please just take a moment to do that. I would really, really appreciate it. All right, so today what we are going to talk about is luck, as the title of this podcast is called Attract Good Luck. We're going to talk about luck, and I'm going to be reading from my book. Many of you probably don't even know that I have a book called Attract Good Luck. And just this book was actually written before I wrote my national #1 best-selling book, Practical Law of Attraction, which is still a #1 selling book on Amazon, by the way. But this book, Attract Good Luck, it was a book that I wrote, about 5 or 6 years ago. And what's interesting is I wrote this book and I recorded the audio program to go along with it. And I had it on a standalone website, which is still around. It's called attractgoodluck.com. And the interesting thing about this book called Attract Good Luck is that it did attract me some good luck, because maybe some of you know, and maybe some of you don't know, that around 5 or so years ago, when I wrote this book, Attract Good Luck, I ended up appearing on national television talking about this very subject. And I got to hypnotize the newscaster Dan Harris on ABC's 2020. It was an episode called Got Luck. And so you can actually find my segment of that episode on my YouTube channel. If you go to youtube.com/hyptalk, HYPTALK, you will actually, if you do a little search, you'll find that episode called Got Luck. It's about 7 minutes. And the funny thing about it is that that interview came right after I just casually mentioned to my husband one day that I had to start working on getting some press. It was just, and I do find this to be true a lot with law of attraction, that sometimes the more subtle we are in our request, when we don't have all this attached energy on it, which I didn't at the time. I wasn't absorbed with this whole idea of getting press. I was just more in the, just a little fantasy, a little daydream. Just, hey, maybe I should try to get some more press. And wouldn't you know it, within a couple of weeks after I'd casually mentioned that, lo and behold, I got a call from one of the producers, and I ended up, like I said, being on the show. And it just was bizarre. And it was one of those things, it was a little difficult to believe that it was actually happening as it was happening at first, but I just trusted the process, went through the motions, and I ended up on the show. And it was really good for my business. And so the writing of that book, ended up bringing some good luck. And so maybe the reading of the book will actually help bring some good luck to you. So like I said, I'm going to be sharing a few chapters from this book, Attract Good Luck. And after I have finished with the reading, you can go to Amazon.com. It's right there. It's available. Just type in Attract Good Luck and you should be able to find it. Or if you actually go to Practical Law of Attraction, which is much easier to find because that's still #1 best-selling hypnotherapy book right now, you can also find other books written by me, the author, Victoria Gallagher. Or if you wanted to grab a copy of my Practical Law of Attraction book, I actually am giving that away for free on another website called practicallawofattractionbook.com. So you can actually get that for free. You just need to throw in the shipping for that. So lastly, before we get started with the reading, I just want to mention that I am so excited right now. My upcoming seminar, the Law of Attraction Intensive, which has been a dream of mine to put this together. I mean, we're talking about, I've been a hypnotherapist for the last over 20 years. And this is a culmination of all of the research and all of the work that I have poured my heart and soul into over the last 20 years. And it was what I was meant to do. And so this is going to be basically my life's work, and you guys are going to get it live. You're going to actually be able to experience the Law of Attraction Intensive live here in Scottsdale on September 28th and 29th. I have just a few seats left. I'm only taking 20 in this class, only 20. Okay, so everyone, the reason why I'm only taking 20 during this is because I really, really want to dive into you. And I really want people to, not that I wouldn't want that with a class full of 50 people or 100 people, but this is going to be my inaugural class. And this is going to give you an opportunity to really go deep within yourself and get some one-on-one time kind of with me and do some real work to bust through any limiting beliefs, anything that's been stopping you from having what you want, anything that's been preventing you from tapping into the power of your mind, you're going to get access to. And we're going to be raising your vibration, and you're going to come away with an action plan and really understand law of attraction in a way that you've never understood it before, and really how to make it work finally. So I would highly advise that probably by the time you're listening to this, the class will be full. So just go check. Go to victoriamgallagher.com and reserve yourself a seat in the workshop if you can, and you're going to get to work with me one-on-one. We'll be breaking those limiting beliefs, raising your vibration. And, for those of you who are saying, oh, I really want to go, but I just can't afford something like that. And I know that there are people out there that do that. And I used to be one of those people, but not anymore. Not anymore, because it is all about your intention. You can have or be or do anything that you want, but if you reject yourself first, if you just automatically, you're in this habit of just automatically thinking you can't do things, right? And when you get into that automatic habit of thinking that you can't do things, the universe just responds to that. And that's your intention. You're sending that vibration out into the universe and saying, I can't have this. Right? And so the only reason why you wouldn't go, unless you're already going on a wonderful vacation or something wonderful is happening for you, the only reason why you wouldn't go is either you don't believe in yourself or you don't believe in me. And if you don't believe in me, you can look up all the reviews and all the amazing things all the amazing transformations that have happened as a result of people spending time with me. And I don't have any energy on that. What I do have energy on is you not believing in yourself. And it's kind of a catch-22. You've got to have a little faith. You've got to be able to have a little faith that you are capable of having some sort of transformation. You're special. You deserve this. You absolutely do deserve to have the life that you want. And it's right there waiting for you. All right. And there, where there is a will, there is a way. And anything and everything is possible for you. So if we're going to uncover a limiting belief and get rid of that, throw it in the garbage, and you're going to come away and you're going to be able to, add an extra $1,000 a month to your income stream by maybe creating a new source of income for yourself. I mean, isn't that worth investing $400 or $500 in the class in yourself? So that's just something I want to put out to you for those of you who are kind of still sitting on the fence. I'm super excited about it. That's happening September 28th, 29th. Go to victoriamgallagher.com and find out more about that. All right. So I'm so super excited about that, but we are going to go ahead and dive into this book.
If you find value in this personal growth related material, I strongly recommend that you sign up for your $1 trial to my Personal Growth Club. Just head on over to personalgrowthclub.com and get a whole month of premium Personal Growth Club video training materials, meditations. You also get 6 free hypnosis sessions that are valued at over $174, all for this trial of just $1. Even if you cancel, you can keep the 6 hypnosis sessions. That's my gift to you, and that's how confident I am that you are going to love Personal Growth Club. Go to personalgrowthclub.com and start your $1 1-month trial today.
So let us begin. And we're going to begin with chapter 1. Actually, we're going to begin just a little bit before chapter 1. Let's just start with the little about section, and we will take it from there. All right, so this book is all about creating more luck in your everyday life. Luck with people of the opposite sex, luck with money, and luck for the extraordinary things such as winning the lottery. But before we get started, let me tell you a little about myself. I'm Victoria Gallagher, certified master hypnotist, and I've been in business for myself since 1999. And I feel lucky in my life. And I really believe that it comes down to that in a lot of ways, that I feel lucky. Therefore, I am. I worked as a stockbroker for about 6 years between 1993 and 1999. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the markets, what they did back then, let me explain. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is a stock market index based on the values of the 30 large publicly owned companies like Disney, AT&T, Microsoft. And it's a pretty good indication of how the stock market is doing overall. Well, that index rose at that time from 3,300 at the beginning of 1993 to around the 11,000 mark at the point that I left the business. Okay, now, so today it's at about 26,000. So in today's terms, that would be like it went from 26,000 to 75,000 or more within a 6-year period of time. Can you imagine that? So obviously I was doing this at a time when I really could do no wrong. And I consider that to be pretty lucky. Now, not only did I get out of a business at a good time, but also I got into a totally different business for no other reason other than it's just something I truly loved and wanted to do. And it just so happens that hypnosis has significantly grown in popularity over the years since I've been in the field. And I mean, people that didn't know anything about meditation or hypnosis or saying affirmations or law of attraction or any of that are now finding out about that. So I just happen to be in a business that I love that happens to be pretty popular now. And so I feel like I kind of lucked out in that department as well. And I'd also say that I've certainly beat the odds in the relationship department, as I have a husband who's a pretty good looking guy. He's a great man and someone who has all the characteristics that I was looking for at the time. And people used to think I was nuts when I told them all the long list of characteristics that I wanted, but they're the ones that are still looking. And I refused to settle, and I got exactly what I wanted. And health-wise, while I have had my share of trips to the hospital, I still feel pretty lucky there as well. Since I came from a very obese family, yet I've managed to keep my weight in check. And at the age of 51 now, I believe that I am in the best shape of my life. I could go on and on about my luck, and I only mention it because I want you to understand why I feel that I have some expertise on this subject. So funny enough, after I decided to go on to write a book about how to attract good luck, I realized some further validation that makes me the one that you should think about when it comes to luck, and that is my name. You'll find it interesting that my maiden name was Glixman. Essentially, this is a German name which originates from the root name Gluck. It's a Yiddish term that means luck or lucky. So I was born with a name that translates to lucky man. And then I married a man of Irish descent whose last name is Gallagher. Of course, we've all heard the luck of the Irish, but as luck would have it, the name Gallagher means foreign help. Now I want you to consider me someone who was born lucky, who is here to help you learn how to be lucky too. And it is with a genuine feeling that I believe I have a lucky nature. And I simply want to share with you some insights that I've had over the years and help instill within you that same genuine feeling that you too can become lucky. I sincerely do wish you the best of luck. Chapter 1, What is Luck? It's my strong belief that no matter what your background is, no matter where you're standing right now, luck is something that you can create, rather than just having to settle for being unlucky. Let me begin with a basic distinction between luck and opportunity. Opportunity is something that is unpredictable. It's those events that just happen at random in the world. Opportunity, and we're going to use this word synonymously with the word chance, is anything that happens unpredictably without discernible human intention or observable cause. Chance encounters or opportunities are those things that you basically have no control over. For example, a job that suddenly becomes available, a person being at a specific place at a specific time, money lying on the ground, the lottery numbers hitting a certain way. Opportunities are always available, but you have no control over them becoming available. They can, however, turn into a luck situation depending on the action that is taken or is not taken. For example, an opportunity is taken and it turns out not to work out in your favor. One would consider that to be bad luck. An opportunity is taken and it turns out to work out in your favor. And that would be considered good luck. When an opportunity is not taken and it turns out that it would not have worked out in your favor. That would be considered good luck. And when an opportunity is not taken and that would have worked in your favor, that would be considered bad luck. It's how you respond to the opportunities in your life that determines your luck. You must take a chance in order for it to become good luck or bad luck. If you do not bend over and pick up that $100 bill lying on the ground, then you passed up an opportunity for good luck. If you didn't take the opportunity to pick up the phone and ask for an interview for that job which just became available, again, you would have passed up the chance for good luck. You're exposed to a lot of opportunities. If you don't act upon them, then you're not likely going to attract good luck. For example, let's say that you're at a party and a potential candidate for a relationship ends up being at that party. It could be for friendship, romance, business, or something else. This is an opportunity. How will you respond? Will you decide that this person will not have anything in common with you? Will you rule yourself out as a potential candidate for a relationship with them? Or will you choose to put yourself into a position to meet that person and see what happens? Now, if you do nothing, you may be passing up on something that could be bad luck. But at the same time, you could be passing up on a potential situation for good luck. So at this point, you're potentially thinking that you have a 50-50 chance at good luck or bad luck. And though it seems that way, when you act, you are the one in control of your situation. Not only that, but acting upon opportunity creates experiences which you can learn from and therefore be able to more easily identify a situation which is going to be lucky or unlucky. So what is luck? Luck is the ability to take the correct action in an opportunity. If you think that some people are just born lucky, think again. Now, it is true that some people are exposed to more opportunity. The more exposure to opportunity, the more chances you must turn it into luck. On the other hand, some people who are exposed to many more opportunities are not lucky because they do not act. Others are exposed to a lot of opportunities, but they can't see the opportunity in front of them. Still, another group of people do see the opportunity in front of them, and they desperately would like to act, but they're just not in a position in their life that allows them to grab it. Or at least that's what their mind is telling them. They feel they are lacking in the resources of, say, time or money to act on the opportunity. Yet a whole other group of people do have the resources of time and money, but they refuse to act because of their fear. They're skeptical, and it seems too good to be true, or that good things like this just don't happen to them, so they choose to do nothing. In this book, we're going to address these patterns of behavior because the fact of the matter is, you already are lucky. You're reading this book, which is a first good step. And when you reach the end of this book, you are going to have created a completely different idea about yourself and the luck you can create. You are going to feel empowered and lucky. We're going to go over the many different areas you can work on to increase your probability of luck. It's scientific. There are many ways to increase your luck, and you're going to learn the exact formula to increase your luck. It's a no-fail system, and it will work for you as it has worked for me and countless others. Chapter 2, a good attitude is empowering. Attitude is so important It is probably the most important thing worth talking about in all the self-help material you will come across. Why? Your attitude determines everything you do. It's what makes the difference between a good athlete and a poor one, a successful entrepreneur and a failure, a great artist, musician, and one who couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. If you have a bad attitude, you may not wake up as early as you wanted to. You may not go to the gym and work out. You may choose to do the bare minimum at work. You may blow off your diet. You may find yourself disrespecting the very people in your life who could help you to get what you want. What is the secret to attaining the great attitude we talk so much about? Art Linkletter said it this way: things turn out best for the people who make the best out of the way things turn out. That is the magic formula. Nothing more and nothing less. President Franklin D. Roosevelt campaigned from a wheelchair and won the presidential election in 1933. He served an unprecedented 4 terms in office from 1933 to 1945 as a handicapped person through some of the toughest times our country has ever seen, including the Great Depression and the Second World War. Clearly, this is a man who worked with the opportunities he was given and turned them into luck. The only disability is a bad attitude. A bad attitude can cause you to come across badly during a job interview, thereby preventing you from getting the job. It can break up marriages. It can drive a person to use drugs or become chemically dependent. A bad attitude can cause a beaten down housewife to stay with her brutal husband until he finally beats her to death. It can keep us imprisoned in our own bonds of self-limitation if we allow it. A bad attitude leads to making bad decisions in life, which leads to nowhere and can make life seem hopeless. Really and truly, after all the lessons we will go through, you will arrive at the same conclusion. When it comes to changing your luck, it begins and ends with changing your attitude.
Hello, this is Victoria Gallagher. I hope you're enjoying listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast. As a way of thanking you for listening, I'd like to offer you a one-time discount of 35% off your first order at hypnotic.com. Just go to hypnotic.com and enter the code PODCAST in the discount code area in your cart, and you'll receive 35% off your first order. Thank you so much for listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast.
Attitude is not the only component, but it is an essential part of the formula to change your luck, because your attitude is the foundation from which everything else you do in the endeavor of learning how to become luckier will begin. Without this part of the equation, you simply cannot be lucky. Henry Ford said, "Whether you think that you can or that you can't, you are usually right." Whatever hand of cards you were dealt, you must realize that you have the capacity to change your luck and change your life into whatever you want it to be. You could greet each day with a positive attitude and watch the difference it makes. Someone once said that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it. And that is why having a good attitude is so important. You can empower everyone else you encounter. Today, give it a try. Put on that mask of a good attitude. That's right, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. But in the long run, you will see that having a good attitude will get easier and easier until it becomes second nature to you. Today, be empowered and decide to face your day with a good attitude. Chapter 3, How to Align Your Mind with Luck. The first thing to establish before we go further is to get the support of your subconscious mind. That's right. And the most efficient and effective way to accomplish that is to change your thought patterns when it comes to luck. Now, do you ever find yourself saying things like, I have the worst luck in the world. Everyone else is lucky, but not me. Why does this always happen to me? These are direct suggestions to your subconscious mind. Whether you think you're saying something in a lighthearted way or you're very passionate when you say it, you are giving your subconscious mind a direct command to carry out the reality that I have the worst luck in the world. You're programming yourself to receive even more bad luck in the future. Since you think you are an unlucky person, your subconscious mind believes that, and whatever your subconscious mind believes, it must carry that out to fruition. That's its job. What does it look like for your subconscious mind to carry out that command? It looks like avoiding a lot of opportunities that could have been lucky for you if given the chance. Your subconscious mind looks for and sets up circumstances to make your belief correct about the fact that you are unlucky. You even feel justified about your bad luck because you can now look back on that opportunity you passed up and say, see how unlucky I was? People love being right about how bad it is for them so much that they may even find themselves in a bragging war, boasting about how unlucky they've been or just how big of a victim they are in life. Haven't you ever noticed just how much people love to talk about how bad they have it? Now, let's be honest. Do you ever find yourself making any of these types of statements? They keep doing it to me. If it weren't for X, I'd be happy, make more money, feel better, etc. Why do bad things keep happening to me? You made me mad. I couldn't do that because... Now, these are called victim statements, and they're basically placing the blame on someone else or something else for what happens to you. Someone else is to blame. If it weren't for this or weren't for that, then you'd have a better situation. The problem with this way of thinking is that it's very disempowering. You believe that other people or events or things have control and can prevent you from having what you want. And when you have this belief, you struggle to succeed in life because of all these obstacles that you feel you have no control over. So if you're struggling to attract good luck in your life, then it may be because you've been playing the role of a victim. You've been indulging in too much pity partying and feeling sorry for yourself. You've been mad at those who are holding you back. You've convinced yourself that you're just one of those unfortunate people who have bad luck. You've pleaded your case to your friends and your family members, defending all the obstacles standing in your way and how these obstacles prevent you from ever getting a lucky break. What if I told you that these obstacles are just your own illusions? These obstacles are not real. Oh, they seem real, but they are only real in your imagination. Your imagination makes things seem very real. We've been brainwashed since birth to believe, I'm not worthy. There's not enough to go around. You'll never amount to much. I'm not good enough. And these deep-seated beliefs are so ingrained within your subconscious mind that you don't even realize that they're there. But they creep into every corner of your life and take away your power to create the life you really want. These messages aren't necessarily told to you verbally, though perhaps at some very early, long-forgotten stage of your life, you accepted these ideas as facts as you watched your parents struggle to survive. So much easier to believe in a negative world because that's all we see and hear around us. Maybe you've experienced failure after failure, promises broken, and goals never realized. How could you believe anything other than you're unlucky and things just happen to you and you have no control over it? Is this a reality you would have accepted, though, had you been given a choice? Coming into our human experience, we tend to think we came here to suffer and to deal with all sorts of dilemmas. Sometimes we really torture ourselves with the illusion of powerlessness and forget who we really are at the deepest level. While the challenges we have set up for ourselves help us to learn from our human life experiences, consider the idea that the reality in your mind is not the one and only true reality. It's a reality that has been developing since birth, based on everything you've ever heard, seen, or experienced in any conceivable way. These experiences have created what is called your belief system, or your filters. Since your beliefs are buried deep in your subconscious, your life is just one cycle of beliefs, creating experiences, and your experiences reinforcing your beliefs. Consider this. Who you believe you are is not who you really are. Who you really are is much more powerful than you may comprehend right now. What if you're one of the lucky ones? Just imagine for a moment you are the source of complete and total power, and you determine the course of your own life. What if you could accomplish great things like Einstein, Beethoven, and Thomas Edison? What if you really knew that you do have the power to acquire wealth, health, love, and just about anything else you can dream up? And then ask, why can't I be someone like that? You can choose at any moment to change your story about luck. Wouldn't now be a great time to change that story? I'm hearing a big, resounding yes. Oh, but what about the victim? At least the consciously aware part of you is saying yes. But what about that part of you that still likes to be a victim? Does that part of you want to change the story too? Or does it still want to keep moaning and groaning about how bad it is? Before you answer that question, let's gain a little more insight into what the victim is getting out of all this moaning and groaning. As human beings, we are motivated by benefits. We simply do not do anything unless there is a benefit involved. Now, I know that seems selfish for all of us, but it's true. No matter what you are doing, whether it's bad or good, right or wrong, lazy or motivated, being angry or happy, worrying or playing, whatever it is, you are motivated by pleasure or pain. At the root of every behavior is a need to move toward pleasure or move away from pain. Stated another way, there's an underlying positive intention for everything we do. This does not imply that everything you do has a positive result. What it means is that actions, behaviors have positive intentions. It is done to obtain an unconscious desired result. And that result is either going to make you feel good or make you stop feeling bad. So the victim part of you is doing what it does with good intention. It has a positive motive. It wants you to feel good, or it wants you to stop feeling bad. Now, isn't that nice? It is nice. It's just that the approach, i.e. being a victim, might be holding you back from having what you really want, So now this is where you get a chance to really take that first step forward toward changing your luck. And while it may be the first step, it's the hardest one of them all for some people. It doesn't have to be, though. The more honest and sincere you are with yourself right now, the more quickly and easily you can change. You see, this part of the process of changing your luck is like building a card house. It's like building any kind of house or structure, for that matter. What do you need in order to build a new structure, which will provide long-lasting dependability and stability? You need to start with a good, solid foundation. Now, the victim, while well-intentioned, is a weak link in your foundation, and it can undermine your efforts to change your luck. You cannot really change your luck if some unaware part of yourself feels powerless to change. You want to build your structure that is unshakable and that's totally aligned from top to bottom with your beliefs, desires, and everything in between. You want a durable structure that can weather any storm and remain strong. But before you can be strong, you must begin by being vulnerable. And the more open and honest you can be right now, the better this is going to work, and the stronger the foundation you will have to build on. Vulnerability sometimes gets a bad rap. It's a very misunderstood term. In a nutshell, though, strength and vulnerability are two opposites. In this world of duality and yin and yang, you need to appreciate both. To be stronger, you must become more vulnerable. To be vulnerable requires some inner strength. One can't really know happiness without knowing sadness. Now, don't confuse the word vulnerability with weakness. It takes strength to do this work, exposing and acknowledging what it is about you that needs to change. Are you up for the challenge? Good. I thought you'd say yes. So here's the steps that you're going to take. The first step is awareness of the behavior that you want to change. It's important for you to realize, though, that you are not your behavior. The second step is to understand the motivation behind the behavior. The third step is that you must want to change. Why are you motivated to change your behavior? Let's call it your attitude. You want to change your attitude because your attitude is in direct correlation with the amount of luck you have in your life. The better your attitude, the more luck you're going to have. Of course, there are more resources than just your attitude, but it all starts there. And the fourth step is to replace your old behavior with a new behavior. The old behavior was filling a need of some sort as identified in step 2. You cannot stop doing something and leave an empty hole where something once was. You still have that need. By default, that hole will fill up with something else. Most likely, the old behavior will just come back, or might be replaced by something even worse. When you pull up a weed from the ground, another weed is going to grow in its place. It's not going to suddenly start to grow a rose bush unless you plant rose buds. So in this step, you're going to come up with a new behavior to fulfill that need. And then the fifth step is to integrate the change into your subconscious mind. Okay, so now you can go ahead and do these exercises, but I walk you through those exercises in my book, and there's a lot more exercises in the book. That's just through chapter 3. So if you're ready, then go ahead and grab yourself a copy of that book from Amazon or audible.com, where you can get the audio version. And so I want to really thank you for tuning in and listening today. I really enjoyed sharing that. Actually, it's been a little while since I read that, and I forgot how good that book is. So I'm actually really interested to hear your feedback and hear what you got from doing that exercise in that book. So I want to thank you for listening today, and be sure to leave a review for Power of Your Mind podcast. Be sure to tune in next week, where I will have a guest. And for more information on anything that I talk about on this show, I've pretty much put everything together. All of the things that I do can be found on victoriamgallagher.com. And on that site, you're going to find more information on how you can join me live for one of my upcoming Law of Attraction intensives, which I am so excited about that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing these actually all over the world, but it starts here in Scottsdale. And the next one after that will be at HypnoBiz Canada in Toronto. And then I'll be doing it in London, and that's November 16th and 17th. And then finally in March, I'll be doing it in Sydney, Australia. So you can find out more about that by going to my website, victoriamgallagher.com. Also remember that I'm offering a free copy of Practical Law of Attraction by going to practicallawofattractionbook.com. And last but not least, don't forget to sign up for your $1 30-day trial to Personal Growth Club. Oh, finally, I'm in the middle of so many wonderful projects. It's so exciting. Grab yourself a copy of my latest HypnoCloud app, which is available on iTunes, and you can listen to over 500 hypnosis sessions right there in the palm of your hand. So thank you again for listening. Leave me a review. Do all the things that I suggested, and I look forward to talking with you again next week. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye now.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with your friends. And once again, be sure to subscribe to the Power of Your Mind podcast if not already. We can be found as Hip Talk on all our social media accounts. So like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, and sign up for your free self-hypnosis video training course at hyptalk.com. Be sure to subscribe to the Power of Your Mind podcast, and you'll be instantly notified the moment the next podcast becomes available. Also, please be sure to leave a rating and a review to tell us how you're enjoying these episodes, and that way you're making a contribution toward others getting to share in this valuable information. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. You've been listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast, brought to you by HipTalk.com, Personal Growth Club, and HypnoCloud apps available at iTunes.